So I've been through the dashboard to give you some of the information around the applications and the assets and the risk information as we're applying this. Obviously, we need to get this information from somewhere. So how do we go about doing that? Well, basically, what we have is we have an agent running on each and every endpoint. All of those assets have an agent running, whether it's Windows, whether it's Mac, whether it's Linux. The agent is very simply and straightforwardly deployed through some of our predefined scripts that we make available, or through remote deployment tools, either existing tools, or we also provide a remote deployer tool for Windows and for Linux. The very simple PowerShell script or Bash script is essentially it's a one-click installer. So essentially it's a copy, paste and run. Obviously this does need to be run as administrator. Once that's installed and run, the agent will then perform an inventory. It will gather information around the asset and around the applications installed. So we can see here, this is the type of information that we're actually gathering. So we're gathering information around the operating systems, whether there's any updates available. We're gathering information around the applications and whether there's any updates available. So this process typically takes a few minutes before the data starts appearing in the dashboard, but it's a relatively quick process. We're also retrieving information around last boot time or usernames, as well as other pieces of information, IP addressing and other system information. As part of this analysis, we then also provide the risk scoring, which we can see here. We have high risk, and we can see what are the reasons for actually having this high risk analysis. So we can click on the analysis and actually drill into a little more detail for the risk overview, and you can see here these are the X tags, the contextual analysis that are contributing to that high risk score. So each of these elements adds up and increases the risk score to bring us out at this high risk. And we can see also information around CVE events, so when a CVE was detected, when it was mitigated, and what's actually active right now on that endpoint. So we can see, for example, we have a Wireshark and an Office vulnerability that's active right now. And we're also providing information around zero-day vectors of attack. So this is provided through common weakness enumeration. So we're looking for common vulnerabilities within the applications and breaking that down into the domain of attack in order to understand what else could be a risk for this particular asset. So the overview is really useful to understand individual assets and understand what is the current status, what operating system updates, what application updates may be available and applicable to this particular asset. And we can also see here, for example, this asset, we've had a patch applied, but we're still pending a reboot. So we also see information around whether we need to reboot for the patch to take effect. Now, for managing these assets, it's always recommended that we break it down and put the assets into groupings for managing, be that for test deployment of patches or just for managing the rollout of patches across the environment. So we'll come on to that, and I shall run through that in the next video.